please welcome climbing Poe Tree.
How y'all doing? How you feeling? Came all the way from Brooklyn. You feeling good? Man, you guys are blessed with amazing weather. So my name is Alixa. Usually there's another one right here, Naima. But this is Samara because Naima got stuck in a storm. And so Samara's going to be co-facilitating this workshop with me today and also performing. But know that Naima is in spirit somewhere in Brooklyn. And we're here enjoying ourselves. Yeah. So this first piece, I'm going to share a couple of pieces, a couple poetic pieces to kind of, one, break the ice, but also get us all on the same wavelength. And then we're going to get y'all writing, get y'all reading. It's going to be exciting. Y'all ready to come on this journey with us? Yeah. All right, y'all. So this first piece is dedicated to all the human beings in the room. Where y'all at? Human beings? All right, all right. The whole center was like, I ain't human no more. I feel you. Me too, man. I'm trying to get my fake ID from the mycelium or something because humans are wreaking so much havoc. I ain't even trying to be part of the species no more. But for those of us spiritual beings having a human experience, especially like, you know how humans, we all have this trip up, like we're like, oh man, I wish I was a little bigger. I wish I was a little smaller. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. You know what I mean? I wish I had freckles. I wish I didn't, you know, all that jazz. So there's a little bit of the biomimicry from nature. So let her teach us from her wealth of intelligence. I wonder if the sun debates dawn some mornings, not wanting to rise out of bed from under that down feather horizon. If the sky grows tired of being everywhere at once, adapting to the mood swings of the weather. If clouds drift off trying to hold themselves together, make deals with gravity to loiter a little bit longer. I wonder if rain is scared of falling, if she has trouble letting go, if snowflakes get sick of being perfect all the time. Each one trying to be, you know, come on now, one of a kind. I wonder if stars wish upon themselves before they die, if they need to teach their young how to shine. I wonder if shadows long to just for once feel the sun. If they get lost in the shuffle, not knowing where they're from, I wonder if sunrise and sunset respect each other, even though they've never met. If storms have regrets, if volcanoes get stressed, if compost believes in life after death. I wonder if breath ever thinks of suicide. If the wind just wants to sit still sometimes and watch the world pass him by. If smoke was born knowing how to rise. If rainbows get shy backstage, not sure if their colors match right. I wonder if lightning needs an alarm clock to know when to crack. If rivers ever stop and think of turning back. If streams meet the wrong sea and their whole lives run off track. I wonder if the snow wants to be black. If the soil, oh, you can snap, y'all. You can clap it, you can tap it. If the snow wants to be black. If the soil thinks she's too dark, if butterflies want to cover up their marks, if rocks are self-conscious of their weight, if mountains are insecure of their strength, I wonder if waves get discouraged, crawling up the sand, only to be pulled back again to where they began. If land feels stepped upon, if sand feels insignificant, if trees need to question their lovers to know where they stand. If branches waver at the crossroads, unsure of which way to grow. If leaves understand they're replaceable and they still dance when the wind blows. I wonder where the moon goes when she is in hiding. I want to find her there and watch the ocean spin from a distance. Listen to her stir in her sleep. One more piece. How many of y'all feel, express, understand, are seeing the environmental catastrophes around us? Raise your hand. Awesome. How many of y'all are doing something about it? All right, all right. How many of y'all wanna? Yeah. All right. Beautiful. So hopefully after today, we're going to be able to get deeper into that want, get deeper into that desire to do something about it. But I'm going to share with you a little bit of what's going on. Oh, we got that guy. Oh, yeah. Before we do. So before we do, I'm going to bring the ancestor energy in. So you can welcome your ancestors in here, but only invite the good ones. Don't invite the trippy ones. I'm from Colombia. How many Latinos are in here? Hey, y'all so quiet. Where my Latinos at, man? Where y'all at? This is Colombia, Medellin, Antioquia. And this is from South America, from my country. How many of y'all remember Hurricane Katrina? Yeah? Okay. Cancer Alley is the valley of the shadow of death. New Orleans to Baton Rouge is the fossil fuel stretch. Those born by the river have been running ever since. Gas refineries and factories line their backyards like a fence. Oil and water don't mix. So when Katrina hit, it was like a turf war between the Bloods and the Crips. The storm surges unleashed more than 40 oil spills. Ruptured pipelines from refineries and petrochemicals spread across the fragile wetlands and the homes where people lived. The stranded were disproportionately poor, black, young, elderly, and sick, and didn't have private transportation to escape the floods and winds, which means they didn't even use the gas from the battered oil rigs that brewed the toxic gumbo that seeped into their skin, nor contribute to emissions that made Katrina spin, but bear the brunt of the suffering of the trouble we're all in. And we in trouble, friends. The storm clouds are coming in, and I can hear the rumbling of atom bombs that make tsunamis like a butterfly flapping its wings. On the other side of the world is a tornado in Brooklyn, torrential rain in Jamaica, an earthquake in Haiti, a typhoon in Vietnam, a monsoon in Korea, a landslide in India, a fire in San Diego, massive flooding in China, a mudslide in Chiapas, tidal wave in Indonesia, acid rain in Hiroshima. It's been flooding in the desert, y'all. Something is wrong here. The rivers don't run like they used to. How far removed from the source of life have we moved to? How long can we live in climate control cubicles while the weather gets deadlier for those left to brave the cold and heat? No clean water left to drink where there's not enough to eat. Epic drought and toxic streams spreading fires and disease. Rising tides, mudslides and freeze, melting ice caps, flooded streets. We watch the Weather Channel on TV. Stockpile canned goods and SUVs. Stay calm. This is an emergency. I tell you if I knew, but the future hasn't said a word to me. She's angry that her children won't be born debt-free. Destiny said man-made curses are her worst pet peeve. They are selling the rain, y'all. They're leasing the rivers. They're auctioning off the ocean to the highest bidders as giant chunks of the polar ice cap dislodge from the North Pole and tourists flock to the site to take pictures. There is disaster tourism, like there's disaster profiteering off the torrential storms and the warring and the wrath of global warming. Who will get paid to rebuild and who will they build for? Who will endure the drought and the rain? Who will be safe and sound indoors? Who built the missiles, the smart bombs, the rockets? Who gets raided and who gets paid from whose pockets? Who gets sent off to war? Who dies for whose profits? Who gets remembered? Who's been forgotten? Who paved concrete over the pores of the earth to make our lives harder and built buildings to scrape skies trying to get closer to God but move farther? Our history's been lost to forgetfulness, erased by the frontiers of manifest destiny, as if destiny were man-made or manifested in the hands of colonial planners who build their thrones atop the remains of nations like gravestones. Celebrate Columbus Day with clearance sales to buy up stuff, to cover up that which cannot be bought or sold, only stolen, like breath or life or home or an entire people who once believed that land could never be owned. And the ocean is worth more than gold, and water cannot be held captive. It will reshape even stone, and even when the last tree stands alone, it still makes a sound long after it's fallen in a forest that lived, even if no one saw it, and fed the world its breath. Whether or not we applauded. One hand clapping sounds a lot like the rhythms we lost in generations who sang even as they departed. But now we stand at the doorway, and the hallway life brought us to this crossroads of lost hope and undeniable promise, where we choose between paths beyond rightness or wrongness that will lead to the brink of the planet's exhaustion, or the age of compassion, where the meek become strongest and re-inherit the earth and redefine progress. How y'all feeling? Yeah, take a breath. Take a deep breath. Real, take a deep breath. This is good for your nervous system. It's gonna slow you down. Nice. You need a deep breath. Give it up for Samara, y'all, on the movement. Samara's the director of Truth Worker Theater Company, an amazing hip-hop theater company in Brooklyn, New York, that is specifically looking at mass incarceration and the many phases of mass incarceration and the racism, compounded racism, historical racism that brings us to what the prison industrial complex is today. So, yeah. And just want to hear from y'all a little bit, like, what are some of the things that you're seeing right now? What are some of the images in y'all's head? What are some of the things you're feeling? Shout them out. Don't be nervous. This is like a living room. Look. about anybody else? Yes, babe. And project. Use performance voice.
Wait a laugh out, y'all. I'm a theater director. Let's go.
Yes.
Thank you for that. So just raise your hand if you can connect to what was just shared around something in you being like, oh, wow, I'm a little more woke now.
Nice.
Nice.
So check it. This is a scientific statistic. Right here, us, everything that's alive on planet Earth right now, we're the 1%. Everything else has died off. We're in the center of a mass extinction right now. And you might not know, some of you might, but that's the truth of the matter, is that we're in the middle of a mass extinction because of what we've done over the last 100 years of industrialization. And we're part of the 1%. And everything that we're feeling environmentally now is due to what was done 50 years ago. So whatever we do now will be the impacts of 50 years from now. You understand? So that's why it's so essential. Right now, the window of survivalhood is closing. And so every action that you take at this point, moving forward, whether, you pack up in the morning and you take your little canteen because you know you're not going to purchase bottled water, because water is one of the biggest crises and will be the next world war. It is a massive war in a lot of places. I don't know how many of y'all know, but South Africa and Cape Town, they're not going to have water by the end of the year. They call it day zero. They'll turn on their faucets and nothing's going to come out. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do with the whole city of Cape Town. The same thing is going to happen to Los Angeles. The Nevada City tablet, way low right now. Where's all those people in Los Angeles going to go? So it keeps going. You look at Flint, you look at Detroit, the water shut-offs. In Bolivia, the second largest body of water disappeared 2 years ago. The Incas were not moved from that region by the Spanish Inquisition, but they were moved by water and the lack thereof. You see what I mean?
So what we want to do now is we moved from really listening and absorbing and watching and hopefully feeling and thinking to now offering a little bit of context. And we're going to broaden that context, okay? And then we're going to go into the person. Yeah?
So what we're going to do right now, you see this beautiful, colorful tapestry that's all around you? Yes? Yes. Awesome. So this project is called Stitched, and I'm going to show some images up here. You can also check it out live. But Stitched is a massive project that Naima and I have been gathering for the last number of years. And it's an acronym. It stands for Stories, Testimonies, Intentions, Truths, Confession, Healing, Expressions, and Dreams. And that's what you'll find in each one of these squares, is people's deepest, darkest secrets and highest, brightest dreams and everything in between. We've collected over 10,000 of these stories at this point. This is just the 50-pound weight limit that I could take from Brooklyn, New York, but there's mad sections. We could wrap this room around a whole bunch of times. And then we take the project and do workshops in prisons, juvenile detention centers, high schools, universities, and look at the power of the story, Consider this almost like a time capsule for the future, So often the narratives that are being fed to us, that are being spoon-fed to us, is the narrative of the colonizer. That's all colonization is that one story wins. But liberation is the multiplicity of stories. It's the narrative. So right now we're in like this battle of narratives. What narrative is going to survive? Is the indigenous narrative going to survive? Is a black narrative going to survive? Is a Latino narrative going to survive? Is the survivor's narrative going to survive? Or is it the colonizer? Is it the perpetrator? Is it the one that inflicts pain rather than the one that's hurt and therefore survives it? halfway through the song, if you find a story that you want to bring into the room, come and grab a paper clip.
There's 3 more paper clips over here. Wrap up. I start to wrap up. Okay. Beautiful. So if you are one of the courageous ones who are going to share, I know we're all courageous up in here, actually stand now with your paper clipped square. The rest of us will be sitting down, and that means that 4 of y'all will be standing up. And how was that for you? Just real quick, just popcorn it out, call it out. How was that for you? What are you feeling? Intense. Come on, y'all, wake up. Inspired, uplifted, saddened, intense, inspired, uplifted, saddened. Not so alone. Beautiful. Did anyone else feel not so alone? Yes, we are not alone. So we want to hear from the 4 of you who are featuring some of the squares that deeply resonated with you. So what we're going to ask you to do is read them to us as they're written.
It's a mic situation. And then we want you to read it and tell us why you picked it. Like, why did it resonate for you in a short amount of time?
How many of y'all are willing to take a step? Just one step. I better see every single hand up in here. You're not willing to take a step, California? Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Who's next? Thank you. All right. Project thy voice. Even louder.
this one pretty much like reminded me of just all the, not even my struggles, but all the struggles we face every day, and how that kind of like closes us off from the world, and to be more in tune with ourselves and to connect with others. We we got to try to be more open, and through that openness, we can learn new things and grow.
Beautiful. One thing I always like to remind myself, which has been said before, is that hurt people, and open people open people.
And healed people heal people.
Yes.
Mine says, I've spent so much time being afraid of people, of myself, of the way things are. And when I learned that to have fear is to prevent yourself from fully engaging in the world, now instead of letting fear ruin my life, I accept it and then let it go. Vulnerability can be the strongest place for growth. Living without fear is truly the essence of love. I picked this one because I don't necessarily have to speak for everybody, but for myself, I'm afraid to do a lot of stuff. I was afraid to go to college. Um, I was afraid to talk to my first partner. I was afraid to get my first car. Uh, Sometimes when people say things to me that I might consider offensive, I'm afraid to speak up because I worry I might hurt someone's feelings. Or sometimes I'm afraid to tell people who are close to me how I really feel because I don't want them to worry. But over time, with all the people that I've gotten to know and I've gotten to love, I've realized that fear is normal. It's okay to be afraid, but you can't live in fear because that's not living. That's being afraid. You can't really accomplish much if you're constantly worried about what will happen. So,
Beautiful. It's really amazing. The thing about this project, oftentimes, we're all of us as humans, we are so preset to judge folks. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you wear your cap backwards. I know everything about you. Upon meeting you, you're like, oh, you wear glasses. I know everything about you, And it's like this project allows you to read and to meet people from their deepest, most vulnerable, most present space without the judgment, without the color, without the size, without the money, without the age. It's just the universal. It just connects you to the universal, and to find out that in essence, at the very core of it all, we're so similar. We're more similar than we're not.
So perfect. So 2 minutes. Someone call out. You on there? Okay, what's the first word that comes to your mind? Go. Bravery. Are we on? Oh, no, but they need to see it. Okay, great. When you hear bravery, what do you see? So let's say a powerful woman. And when you hear the word powerful woman, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Shout it out. Mama. Mama. Okay, let's make this as a list, Elisa, so it's easier for them after. So when you hear mama, what do you see? Baby. When you hear baby, what do you think of? Life. When you hear the word life, what's the first thing that you picture? Sun. When you hear the word sun, what do you see? The moon. When you hear moon, what do you picture? The night. When I say night, what does it make you think of? Stars. When I say stars, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Bright. When you hear bright, what do you see? Light. When I say light, what do you think of? A smile. When you hear the word smile, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Sunshine. When you hear sunshine, what do you picture? Speak up, y'all. Huh? The beach. Yes. When you think of beach, what do you see? Water. When you hear water, what do you think of? Waves. When you hear waves, what do you see? Surfing. When I say surfing, what do you picture? Huh? Boys. When you hear the word boys, what do you see? We don't see nothing? Come on, y'all. When I think boys, I think patriarchy. When you hear the word patriarchy, what do you picture? Just do columns, 2 columns. Okay. When you hear patriarchy, what do you think of? Structure and power. When you hear power, what do you see? Money. When you hear money, what do you picture? Corruption. When you hear corruption, what do you see? Inequality. When you hear inequality, what do you picture? Segregation. When I say segregation, what do you see? Black and white. When I say black and white, what do you picture? Say it. Peace. And let's end with peace. Alexa, I think it's over here in layout, maybe. Okay, cool. Because I want to, I know, but I want to see them all. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the beautiful thing. We're almost out of time, and I'm going to prove to you that in 30 seconds, you can write a brilliant piece of work, even if you don't consider yourself a poet, because this is your palette. Your words are right here for you. So if we think that our prompt is, we are coming from and moving towards, and this is our palette, we're going to use as many of these words as possible, then we might say, we are moving from a patriarchal structure where money is power and greed is what we walk towards, where corruption rules our nights and we look at the stars and we can't see the light, but we are moving towards mamas and babies and powerful women who walk with bravery on their backs, where segregation is a lack. And we know that black and white is where we can find our peace, and that in the water we can search for waves and we can surf the heights, so that our boys grow up to love the babies, to know the responsibility of being a son, respect their mamas, shine bright like the light, and see the sunshine in every single smile. So I think I might have used almost all the words, and that was 30 seconds. So now it's your turn, okay? So your prompt, and maybe at least you can write it down, your prompt is, we are moving from, we are coming from, we are moving towards. And you have an index card, which means you're going to be impeccable with your word. We are moving from, we are coming from, we are moving towards. Go. Use as many of these words as you can.
You literally have 30 seconds.
And I think I did it in 20. We are coming from, we are moving towards. Use as many words as you can. 30 seconds. Go. I asked you what you were seeing, what you pictured for a reason. I wanted you to create visual imagery because that's what makes poetry strong. So pay attention to having visual imagery in the words that you write. You literally have 10 more seconds. I love you.
All right, finish up that last line, whatever it is that you're working on. Cool. So now what we want you to do is we want you to identify what is the best line that just came out of what you wrote. The one that you're like, damn, I really just did that? Hello. That's the one. And we want you to write that line that you so loved horizontally on one of these. Oh no, we have the other ones.
Why don't
We
they
have
just
them.
circle it?
Yeah, they can circle it, but then we want them to write it. No? How are they gonna mix it up?
No, they can just circle it.
Just circle it. Circle your favorite line.
Okay, raise your hand if you need more time to figure out which brilliant line you're going to choose. Only one professor in the back? Okay, we're done. Beautiful. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Take your index card with your brilliant word string and come line up, create a semicircle from tallest to shortest, silently. Go. Tallest over here. And let's move quick. Tallest over here. All the way around. Careful if the cords don't trip. And then shortest over here. And we love every single body in this space. And we celebrate every single body in this space. Some of you are still sitting. I don't know why you're sitting. Get it up, get it up, get it up. Silent. This is a non-verbal activity. Completely silent activity. Listen to the music. Go in. Bring your voices to a silence. Shh. We can self-organize. I know we can. Great. Beautiful. Okay, maybe just scoot a little bit this way. Good. Everyone scoot a little bit so that we have room for all of our brilliant souls. You can scoot even more. Everyone take a step to your right. Step to your right. Step to your right, y'all. Come on, self-organize. Make space for all your colleagues. Okay. Make sure that we're height appropriate. Y'all are totally wrong here. I love you. You're taller than you think, bro. But you are not taller than him. Over. Sleepy. You're taller than you think. Great. Okay.
Then you guys move back that way. Move that way.
You're not the shortest one in the room. Definitely not. You belong over there. Come on, y'all.
Figure yourself out.
You're not shorter than everyone else. Over here. It's interesting to see people's self-perceptions. Some of y'all think you're really short.
And some of y'all think you're really tall. I think you gotta come over here. Maybe like right there. It's more like right
down, baby.
in
Scoot
there.
down, scoot down.
In there somewhere.
Scoot. Make space. Okay, you almost there. Scoot. No one should be in the corner. There we go.
All
okay.
right. Y'all did it.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
I love how short you think you are. It's adorable. Nope, too tall. I'm still taller.
Pero hagámoslo.
Okay.
Let's go.
So we're going to create an epic group poem. Are y'all ready to witness your own brilliance? Are you all ready to witness your own brilliance? Oh my God, you're so quiet. Are y'all ready to witness your own brilliance?
Sleepy
Okay.
seeds.
So the prompt is we are coming from, we are moving towards. Okay?
And so what we're gonna do is that we're gonna give the mic to the tallest person. We're gonna go. All right. And there's no preamble. There's no like, well, if I'd had more time, I would have done better.
Oh, wait, is it my turn? Oops.
No. Know what you're saying, know what you're reading, and read it with power. All right?
And
just hand the mic over.
Y'all have been hella quiet, but we're assuming it's because you are saving up and charging your battery for this very moment.
Ooh, Shakiki.
And if you wrote not we are coming from and we are moving towards, and it hasn't been said in a long while, feel free to add that to the top of your line. So that becomes our vertebrae, our backbone.
That's our mantra. All right.
We are moving from bravery, life, sun, moon, powerful women, money, corruption, greed, power, black, white, and peace.
Coming from and going from Mama Sunshine Light.
We are the light of the sun that brings sunshine to the beach where waves of water are at peace.
Shine bright when you see your mom smile. Never been stuck with power and money.
We're coming from greed and corruption that drown out the light of the moon.
We're coming from where moms and sons could see the light and touch the stars.
We are coming from a generation where segregation and greed still exist.
We are moving from life and we're going towards inequality and corruption.
We are moving towards forgetting the flashing lights and riches, enjoying the moon at night, looking at the stars that shine so bright.
We're moving from when the money is gone, the water is gone.
We are coming from a greedy structure where power and money rule and the patriarchy tell the story.
We are moving towards where the moon and sun meet like blacks and whites at peace.
We are coming from the want for money and power where our mamas can't even grasp the light in their boy smiles.
We are coming from the night surfing the wave of light, and we are moving toward the lights.
We are coming from bravery. Little boys, little girls, life at its purest. Mamas fighting inequality. Greed creates weakness. Yet the waves on the beach crash silently.
We are coming from greed, love for money and power, and corruption. We are moving towards the warm winds surfing through the beaches of a better tomorrow.
Where the sun outshines the moon with waves of corruption taking over.
We are moving forward a generation that teaches our boys to love powerful women and not to belittle them.
We are moving towards those stars shining bright to bring sunshine to our life.
Your money doesn't just talk, it curses. You know what I mean? So know what it is that you're supporting, know how it is that you're talking, know how it is that you're giving. It's not even about our stuff at all, just in general, you know? And then the other thing, if you can do something else, make sure you travel with your canteens. Whoever this person is, I love you. You know what I mean? Travel with your canteens and stop supporting the bottled water industry because they're stealing actively all of our waters. Coca-Cola stealing the water from indigenous and black folks and Latino folks all over the world because they know that the next world war is going to be about water. So, you know, try to save yourself. Self-preservation. And with that being said, I think that's everything.
So we just moved the stitched area right over here. So
okay.
More accessible.
And
here
once
are blank squares.
Yeah. And once you finish, put it in the basket right here. Boom. Yeah. We'll even put more.
We have a bunch.
And then the last thing I'm going to say is, again, our name is Climbing Poetry. And poetry spelled like a tree. Poetree, Climbing Poetry. So follow us on social media and all that jazz. We put out beautiful videos and words and work and all that. And then also we have Truth Worker Theater Company. Check them out. And that's everything. Thank you so much for spending this morning with us, y'all. Thank you so much.